I'm hoping that this video will take only two of the books because one of them isn't even a complete review and the other one is Sweep. So, and y'all know I love Sweep. I have so many things to say about that fucking book. Once Upon a Towns Bridge Story, the Towns Bridge prequel, is by Sophie Barnes. I have no idea why I even picked up this book. Um, this is realistic fiction, but it was free, so I guess that's partly why I picked it up. Anytime something is free and it's outside of my genre range, my regular genre range, I will at least try to give it a chance, but you will not catch me justifying these books. Um, so Margaret doesn't want to speak to George Townsbridge. That's also a dumb last name. She doesn't want to marry him. He's 31 and she's 20, and apparently he's a bit of a playboy, and someone else is also courting her. George thinks that she's delightful, and she tried to make him dislike her, but he saw through the attempt, and I don't know. When she finds out that he's got a child, she ends up disliking him again because, at that, I guess the time period is supposed to be like, I don't know. My brain wants to call it antebellum, but I can't imagine that's what they call it in other countries. But Victorian, there we go. That's what I was trying to say. Um, yeah, I decided that part of the reason why I might like Pride and Prejudice is the fact that I adore the movie so much because there's no possible way that you're going to convince me that these books are the same either quality or genre because man, I am not having a good time with realistic fiction. I think it's mostly just the fact that like I already live in this world. I know this world's rules and I know that magic doesn't exist. Why on earth, when I'm trying to perform a bit of maladaptive escapism, would I ever want to read about people also living in this world who all have to deal with its rules? I think that's why I like urban fantasy so much, because the idea of being taken away into a world that is adjacent to our own and has some of our same rules, but not all of them, is pretty fucking great. And here, just kind of meh. Like, with the exception of my boyfriend and my friends and my family, like, other people. It's other people. It's judgmental and kind of rude, but, it's the truth. What did I actually say about the book? I also don't care about the Pride and Prejudice adaptations. Like that one time when I read Queen Mab, which is a Romeo and Juliet adaptation, but not really because it's not about Romeo and Juliet necessarily. That book was good, but I also have a deep and disgusting hatred for Romeo and Juliet because I don't like Shakespeare. So maybe that's what that is. And like that adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio is a ridiculous adaptation. They use guns in that adaptation. Like, what is happening? um, but anyway, oh, what's wrong with my white? Why isn't my white working? Huh, my white's not coming off of the palette very well. That's upsetting. Hmm, yeah, the white's looking a bit more yellow, which is odd. I try not to double dip my brushes because the white eyeshadow is like a yellow crayon. After you color, not yellow crayon, a yellow marker after you colored in black with it, it will never be white again. Yeah, that's good. Um, I don't know. I guess I just don't care. I don't care about these people and their problems because it's so far removed from me. So, oh wait, Sweep was not next. Sorry. Prince Caspian was next. Sleep isn't for a couple of books. I'll talk about Prince Caspian. Again, I would like it on record that I have absolutely no clue how they got all of that movie from this one barely 100-page book. Let me put my glasses back on so I don't have to lean so far into my notes. If you're wondering why my hood is up, it's because I took my braids out and I don't feel like doing anything with my hair. Um, so we're in Narnia and we find Cara Paraval, which is the castle that the children are at the end of the first book. and that's at that point is when they realize that time in Narnia works differently. I see a lot of people on like TikTok and stuff who adore these books saying that they only claim the first one because how dare Aslan take these children, uproot their lives and put them in a magical world and then just send them back like they're supposed to deal with that. I saw a thing where they were like that's why the children acted out because Edmund and Peter got into fights because it was difficult. Susan allegedly had some promiscuity going on, and Lucy was just very, very much a lot wiser than she was supposed to be. Yeah. Animals can't talk. Caspian knows the tales of old Narnia, and there are some animals who can still talk, obviously, because that's how the plot gets started. And I'm also going to take an educated guess and say that you've seen the movie if you're watching this, because that's why you care about the Narnia books, because you've wondered if you should read them having seen the movies, because you like the movie so much. Um, his uncle has a son, so Caspian's going to be killed, but he escapes, and the old Narni not old Narnians, the Narnians find him, and he, like, asks to help and all of that. I don't want this book. Like it's not it's just the movie and but like shorter. I don't understand how they got so much movie out of 100-page book. This one is not as silly as the first one, but there's so much. Aslan also makes Caspian king of Narnia, which like no, but whatever. That's not what happens in the movie, which I think is why they cut that out because that's ridiculous. Um, Peter and Susan are also apparently now too old to come back to Narnia. I don't know if that's stated in the movie, but that is also what happens in the movies. They are too old for Narnia now, so Aslan unsummarily kicks them out, which for people who like see the Christianity parallels easier than I do, they have said that it's basically a parallel for Susan and Peter not being allowed into heaven, which what? Thinking about these books from like a Christian thing is so weird to me. Like I saw the metaphor in the first book because Aslan is like God, but what? It's so weird. Um Also, they're kind of caricatures. Like in the movies, they don't have that much more depth because they're children, but they're kind of caricatures. Like Peter is the leader. A man in kid's clothing is what they called him. Susan is a wet blanket meant to be hated. It feels like Edmund is the punching bag, and Lucy is treated like a naive child, even though she's actually not. Just because it's a kid's book, I will also say that because Time Cat has that same issue. Just because it's a kid's book does not mean you need to move at the speed of lightning because you're going to lose their attention. If they're reading a book, you're probably already good on their attention and they want to be here reading the book. But, like, what? I think there are two more after this because there's the Silver Chair and the Dawn Treader. I'm pretty sure Dawn Treader is next and Silver Chair is last. I I gotta be real. I don't think I can take much more of these fucking books.